to talk about more about this revolutionary concept is the man himself, Ambassador Rick Grenell. Ambassador, welcome to the show.
Sean, thank you so much for having me, and also for doing that. This is such an important topic, and I think it's largely ignored. But boy, does it really matter to the American people.
It does, and it's interesting. You saw it firsthand as an ambassador in a key post in this world. The thing that I thought was fascinating about your op-ed is it makes a ton of sense. It says, hey, we should, like China and some of these other countries, use our embassies and the staff to advance U.S. interests. The question I have for you, as they're seeing it firsthand, is the current Foreign Service equipped to do that? The people who served you in Germany, are they equipped to do just that?
Let me say that they want to be equipped. They want to be able to work for the American people in a very relevant way. I think what we've had over years is we have a foreign service. This gets a little bit wonky, but they have to pick what they call a cone. So when you first enter the foreign service, you're just a really smart person, a smart American who wants to work for your country, and you want to help do it overseas. And so we attract some of the smartest people and some of the best people who give of their time, and they evaluate the country's political dynamics. This is something that's really old. We can get this information from the internet. Instead, what we need to do is really think about the economy. We need to have ambassadors who are really smart from different industries, who can come in and train and help the Foreign Service think differently and really expand the American presence overseas. Our job is to push the American policy and to further create American jobs in an American economy that's beneficial. That's the job of the ambassadors and all of their teams.
Ambassador, in the op-ed, though, you articulate that it's so important in these key places around the world, Germany, England, all of our, our key allies, to make sure that we have people that A, have a relationship with the president of the United States, and B, have some of that business experience that you're talking about. And a lot of these folks in key outposts in Europe have that. One in particular that you write of is Woody Johnson, who has a ton of business experience. Interestingly enough, Ambassador, he was attacked by his own staff. One of the folks that was close to Hillary Clinton was over there serving in the London, in the UK embassy, and has relentlessly attacked him and had been fodder for the left-wing media. So how, as much as people want to go over there and serve and have this experience, how do we prevent that dynamic from occurring?
I'm not sure that we can prevent it just simply because the system is a gotcha system. But somebody like Woody Johnson or Jamie McCourt in Paris, we're lucky to have these people. I mean, just take, Jamie was an incredible leader for the LA Dodgers and understands how sports are an industry and a brand to further America, and what she can do in France with that knowledge base to teach foreign services officers is amazing. Woody Johnson comes from an incredible background of not only sports, but healthcare. Right. And what he has done in terms of negotiations in the business world is totally transferable to our embassy in London. And foreign service officers need to be able to recognize that this outsider mentality that Woody and Jamie and others bring is a fantastic opportunity to learn from, to learn a really good skill. What we need to do is we need to have ambassadors like Woody Johnson and Jamie McCourt giving to the Foreign Service their perspectives rather than just completely taking on the system and melding into the system. And so when you do that, and I know Woody Johnson in particular has been very effective at bringing an outsider and a business mentality to the embassy, that definitely upsets people who just want him to kind of do what they say and to go to the right parties that they tell him to. What I experienced in Germany, my team was really open to having an outsider perspective, and they liked being focused on issues. So I think it's hit or miss when it comes to the Foreign Service. There's not one size fits all. I have found that they're really eager for change, but we do have situations where they attack because the status quo was being upended and changed. I think the outsider mentality is very good. We see what Trump has done to Washington. I joke, Sean, with the president to say when he's hiring ambassadors, when he's hiring people in Washington, he should make sure that if anyone has on their resume a Washington, D.C. vicinity address, that he doesn't hire them. We need outside perspective. Let's hire people from outside of Washington.
It's true, but you look at Woody, he goes and I think you're absolutely right. He's been extremely effective, put his business acumen and success to the US's benefit, increased that relationship tremendously, and he gets attacked by a former holdover aide to Hillary Clinton. It's just disgusting. Ambassador, I want to ask you about your speech at the RNC. Really compelling. You drew a tremendous contrast between an Obama foreign policy and the Trump foreign policy. Let's take a listen.
A return to the Biden way of thinking means America gives the radical terrorist regime in Tehran a plane load of cash in the middle of the night. Well, you see, President Trump also sent an aircraft in the middle of the night to deal with Iran. But that plane was on a different mission. An airstrike to take out the head of Iran's terror machine who plotted the deaths of Americans.
Ambassador, extremely compelling, drew a very sharp contrast in what you said. The question I have for you is, as important as foreign policy is, and you laid that out perfectly in your speech, the American people don't always put foreign policy at a high on the list when it comes to what they're going to vote on. How do we make this more of an issue?
Look, I think Donald Trump has made it a great issue and an understandable issue for the American public by just simply saying our foreign policy should be designed to make America stronger. We're not here to write checks to make others stronger. We are here through foreign aid, through multilateral institutions, through all of our foreign policy to make America stronger, to make the American people safer. That should be the criteria. And I will say, Sean, my 8 years at the UN, I've been around thousands of diplomats from 192 different countries. Every one of those diplomats do just that. They fight for their country and they think what is best for their people. We're the only country that gets in trouble when we do it.
Ambassador, before I let you go, I'm out of time, but I got to ask you this question. When you were the acting director of national intelligence, you gave us so much insight into what was really happening with respect to the Obama administration and what they were doing to the incoming Trump administration. DNI Radcliffe had continued what you started. Do you expect that there to be more information released as we head into these final days before the election?
Look, transparency is our friend. We should never be afraid of transparency. What happened to President Trump in terms of the development of this Russian collusion investigation really should never happen to another person, another president, another senator, any politician. We cannot weaponize government like this. And so it's really important that we come clean and we show all of the early red flags that were given during the beginning of this process. I think transparency is super important. I think the American people can handle it. And I'm thankful that John Radcliffe is following that path. He's a great director of national intelligence. I think we're in amazing hands with John.
Well, I appreciate everything you did during your tenure to make sure that we saw all of the stuff come out, because if it didn't, you're right, we didn't have that transparency. Who knows what we wouldn't know that we do know today. Thank you, Ambassador, for your service in Germany, for your service as acting DNI, and for an absolutely compelling speech at the RNC.
Thanks, Sean.